Hola, Fran, how are you doing?
Hola Jorge, buenas tardes. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening to whoever is listening in the whole world. And here we are, Francisco Glaria from travelingsteps.es and Jorge Herman, travelingwithjorge.com. Francisco, we are
Yes,
going to be very musical today.
yes,
So,
we
as
are
usual,
going to
let's
be
leave
musical.
our audience in a cliffhanger for a few seconds. Let's get our intro, and then we'll be back in a few seconds. Okay?
Okay, see you in a moment.
Good.
So, welcome everybody to this new episode of Spanish Loops. Please, Jorge, don't leave me hanging in that cliff. What are we talking today?
No more, no less than the greatest composer. We'll talk about a bit more about Chopin.
Chopin.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay,
Yeah.
the great
And
romantic composer.
the romantic composer, Polish. I'm born in 1810. And I know you know the name of the town where he was born, and you're going to say it, not me.
Well, because
Okay.
my daughter is studying in Poland, that doesn't
That's
mean that
right.
I know how to pronounce this name. But here we
Correct.
go.
Correct.
Selezowa Wola. That's where he was born.
Where?
In, you make me say it again. Selezowa Wola, Poland.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
all we need to know.
Perfect. Thank you.
Good.
Well, as I said, it was the most important contemporary romantic composer in the 19th century. And who hasn't heard about him? I mean, I think that whoever is a little bit into classical music, even if you're not into classical music, you have heard things, and probably you heard pieces of his compositions that you don't know that are from him. But anyway, Francisco, now regarding that your daughter is in Poland, he is Polish, and you know more about that than I do, why don't you take the lead voice?
Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Okay, so as you say, today we're going to talk about Frédéric Chopin.
Yeah.
Chopin, Chopin. Okay, Chopin. We think we've been discussing how to say it in English. We say Chopin, but for sure it's not Chopin, it's Chopin. So he was born at the beginning of the 19th century in Poland, and he was a child prodigy. I mean, from very, very young, he would be talking, playing piano in salons for all the wealthy people, for all the aristocrats. Uh, he had a special sensibility, and he was very delicate as a person. He was very introspective. He was today. I think we would have said he was in some type of a spectrum. Uh, he would play pieces as a kid that renowned players would struggle with, and he would play them by heart. The thing is that he was delicate and not just personality wise, but also he was very delicate in health. He was very, very an unhealthy kid. He struggled. He had a lot of things. Uh,
Did he start studying music when he was little, when he was young?
he was studying music when he was young, but he outdid all of his teachers. I
Ah,
mean, he
right.
was a genius. I mean, so
Seriously.
yeah. Mhm.
Cool.
So anyway, the thing is that by the age of 20, he moved to Paris, and that was his
Ah,
consecration. That's where he made
okay.
his career. He lived most of his life in Paris.
In Paris. Okay, so we're talking about, let me say again, Chopin, okay, he was born in Poland, and then he outdid of his teachers, he was a genius, and now you're saying that he moved to Paris and lived most of his life in Paris. But we all know the name of this podcast is Spanish Loops, and it's anything
Uh-huh.
regarding Spain. So please let me know. I am just, wondering why are we talking about Chopin today when this is something related to Spain? Any relation in between the composer and us?
Big one. The thing is that your Frédéric, Monsieur Chopin, he's very sick. Well, so he needs to come to Spain to try to
Needs.
get better. Needs. He decides to come, but that's going to be our Spanish connection. Okay. But let
Okay.
me go a little bit before. The thing is that
Sure. Please,
Chopin
please.
becomes, before he becomes Chopin, he's deeply in love with this girl, but she's a wealthy girl. The father of the girl says, Chopin, musician, who the hell is that? Uh, he's not going to make a career of that. So, nope, he did not allow this girl marry Chopin.
Uh-huh.
Big depression, not good. The thing is that when he went to Paris in 1936, he met George Sand. Okay,
Uh-huh.
so George Sand is going to be the love of his life. Okay.
Wait a minute. George Sand.
Mhm.
I mean, nothing against whatever gender wise, but it's a man.
It- No, it's a woman with a name of a man. Okay, her name it is
Yeah,
Aurora Dupin, but she's a woman, and we are at the beginning of the 19th century, beginning of the 1800s.
yeah.
She wants to write. Women are not allowed, so she has a second name. Okay, so she publishes all her books under the name of George Sand.
Oh, like a cover name.
There we go, a cover name. Right.
Oh, how
So,
clever.
and the relationship between Chopin and George Sand, it is one of
Well,
these.
George Sand is Aurora.
Yes, Aurora, but
Okay,
everybody knows
right.
her as George Sand. Okay, and we're going
Okay,
to
right.
talk about her, about George Sand. Okay,
Okay.
and George can be George, like Georgine. So it's a name that is in the middle. Okay, but George Sand, it's a man's name. Anyway, the thing is that the the relationship between these two when they met, Chopin was like, is one of the things he said about her is she even a woman? Okay, she was a very strong woman. Okay, you have to
Mhm.
think that he is very delicate, quiet, introspect, super shy, and suddenly he meets this strong, powerful woman, a
Well,
woman.
if we take into consideration that in those years, the role of a woman in a relationship was just homework, taking care of the kids and everything,
Mhm.
and then suddenly find someone who dares to make a cover name as a man and then do things that was only limited to man or to men in this case, she has to have a strong character, isn't it?
Well, she's beyond strong character.
Oh, whoa.
She was married and she was not divorced. She got
No
separated.
way. No way. Really?
1800s. She has two kids. She's a single mother on the 18th century, 1800s.
Oh.
She's a big feminist. Okay, she is very outspoken. Whatever comes in her mouth, she puts it out.
Yeah.
He is totally the other way. She is very politically active. I mean, she's like, no, she's independent. She is a mother of two. She smokes. 1800s, a
Wow.
woman smoking. Okay? And if that is not enough, she does something that Parisians and the world was not ready. She is wearing pants.
Really?
So when Chopin met George, it's like, if she even a man, a woman? Because
Yeah.
she is strong, powerful, driven. All the 1800s characteristics of men, she
Yeah.
has them. And she even dresses like a man and smokes like a man. This woman, it's all about passion. It's a woman who, by the way, she's a very good writer.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And this is the moment in Paris we have Victor Hugo, Les Miserables, The Hunchback of Notre Dame. In this moment, when the two of them are writing, Victor Hugo and George Sand, she sells more books than Victor Hugo.
And that is when they are in Mallorca at the time, right?
No. This is in Paris. Okay,
In
this
Paris,
is
okay.
well, we're in Paris. So she is bold. Chopin is fragile. She is up loud. He is quiet. This a writer, a poet said that she is earth, he is air.
Oh, how beautiful.
But she is like grounded and she's strong and powerful.
Yeah.
And this is what, if I have to kill for my kids, I will. And he's like in his clouds of notes. Okay, so it's a beautiful, strange relationship that they have.
Francisco, what nationality was George Sand?
I think don't get me wrong, I would not put my hand on fire, but I think she's French.
Okay, good.
For our listeners, probably the most important, or one of the most important books that she wrote is called Indiana. Okay.
Indiana?
Yeah, nothing to do with the United States. Okay, it's a very
And nothing to do with Indiana Jones, of course.
nothing with Indiana Jones. No.
Sorry.
No, nothing to do with Indiana Jones. Indiana, it's this. Okay, the book talks about Indiana, who is an aristocratic girl, who she's forced to marry this old guy. I think he's 39 or 40 old. But that time she's very young, and the marriage is arranged. She doesn't want to be there. She's a free man. It's pretty much a portrait of George Sand.
Mhm.
Okay, so Indiana, she seeks for that freedom. That hey, I'm a woman. I can do whatever I want. I can. But we're talking. I mean, again, with our 21st century brain, we cannot maybe put ourselves how disruptive this book was.
Yeah.
Okay, because you have this is a moment. If we compare, Victor Hugo, when I don't know, Esmeralda in the Hunchback of Notre Dame, she tries to save him. It's a moment when women liberation starts very strong, and George Sand is writing like Victor Hugo. He's a man and writes the main character on his books is a man. The main character on George Sand is a woman. The book is not about the wife of. The book talks about her. Right? So it's a very disruptive. So imagine this extremely sensitive guy, quiet, weak, and suddenly this power woman comes in his life. The relationship is quite tumultuous. Okay, I think is that he is always sick. He has tuberculosis.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so what they need is
Yes.
They need to find the doctor told him you need to go to a sunny place. Okay, and that is going to be Spain, and to be more precise, Mallorca. Right,
The island of
the
Mallorca.
island of Mallorca in the middle of the Mediterranean. Okay, where the sun is always there and it's beautiful and it's perfect. So Mallorca, they are going to come in 1838. Okay, in 1838 they arrive in Mallorca, in the middle of the Mediterranean, looking for the sun, the warm temperature, and the perfect place. Okay,
I'm very curious about one thing, Francisco.
yeah.
Whenever we hear now Mallorca, Balearic Islands, it comes to us like, oh, holiday resorts, beaches, hotels, good food, good seafood, etc., etc. But we're talking about almost 1840. So how
Not
was
what it
Mallorca in those days? I mean, nothing to do with what it is today, obviously.
Nothing to do with what Mallorca is today.
Uh-huh.
1838. Mallorca, it's isolated from the continent. It's an island. Uh, the royalty, I mean, the novelty, all of these people have not arrived deeply like now. It's not a touristic place at that moment yet. It's a moment that is very rural. We do have a lot of orange production, lemon production. It's a farming island and a fishing island.
Hmm. Yeah.
Maybe not the best place if you need some medication.
Yeah, because it was isolated. Yeah.
It's very isolated and everything has to come by boat from
Yeah.
wherever. So it was not, to
Well,
tell you the truth,
the connections were not as frequent as they are now, obviously.
there we go. So it's, I mean, now in the airport of Mallorca, you have 1,000 million flights daily.
A
So
thousand
no,
million
I don't know, but
flights
it's like
per day.
non-stop, non-stop, non-stop. But so they come to this rural little island in the middle of
Okay.
the Mediterranean,
Uh-huh.
and they go to a beautiful, beautiful village called Valldemossa. Okay,
Oh, really?
Valldemossa,
Valdemos?
it's in La Sierra de Tramuntana, in the Tramuntana
Yeah,
mountain range,
the mountains.
where there is a Carthusian monastery. Okay, the Carthusian monastery of Valldemossa,
Hmm.
and they rent literally some of the cells from the monks. Okay, yeah, they're
Cells to
looking,
live into them?
yeah, well, like monks. Okay, like the monks, they were the
Okay.
only ones renting something at that time, so they were not like horrible cells. Okay, the ones that they rented, they were much nicer.
Okay.
But you have to think that we are in a monastery. A monastery means
Mm.
thick stone walls,
Yeah.
humidity. They are not by the beach. They are up there in the mountains. So there's going
Uh-huh.
to be wind. It's going to be raining nonstop. They were seeking for good health, perfect weather, and the whole thing. And they were in winter,
Wow.
not a clever moment to go. It's a moment when in Mallorca they have a lot of rain, they have a lot of wind. The most important wind in the Spanish Mediterranean, we call it La Tramuntana. And the
Yeah.
mountain range is called Tramuntana. It is born in there. So it's quite windy most of the year, but in the winter, it is hell. I mean, during the spring, summer, at the beginning of fall, it is beyond beautiful area, but in the winter, it's a place you don't want to go. And that's where they go. And it is a very, today, it's a very small village. In 1840s, it's even smaller. And suddenly you have this guy who is sick. Is he bringing diseases to where we are? We don't like this guy. And he's with this girl who smokes like a guy, wears pants
So
like a
it was like a
guy.
scandal of the moment.
It was a big scandal. I mean, people were like, who the hell are you? It's like, no. And so she's the one, he stays a lot of time in his apartment cell.
Hmm.
Okay. She's the one who has to go out and go shopping. And she becomes a doctor, a nurse, a mother, a cook, a secretary, everything to
24/7
her.
caretaker.
24/7 caretaker. Okay, so
Hmm.
really, it's they were seeking for peace, but they didn't find what they were looking for. But they spent a lot of time in Mallorca. The thing is that during that time, Chopin composed some of the most beautiful, beautiful pieces. Okay, the funeral prelude was composed in Mallorca, and
Wow,
maybe,
really?
yeah,
Oh, my
probably
goodness.
the most, I don't want to say the most beautiful because, but one of the most beautiful, beautiful, beautiful pieces that he composed. It is the Raindrop Prelude. Okay, that
Hmm.
that beautiful prelude. Unfortunately, for our listeners, we would love to be able to put, when we talk about music, put this music in the podcast. We cannot do that for copyright reasons.
Hmm.
So you guys have to look for it.
Yeah.
But the, and the Raindrop Prelude that I love, it's, I could say, imagine you are in your little room, your little apartment, and it's raining and raining and raining. That is the inspiration, that rain in Mallorca, that imagine, I mean, if you close your eyes for a second, imagine you're looking through the window. There's a beautiful valley in front of you, okay? Because Valdemousa, it's up on a valley in the Tramontana, and from his room you see this valley full of orange trees and lemon trees and olive trees. So you have all of these arches everywhere, and you see the clouds rolling in, and
Yeah.
it's raining and raining and raining, and all of these citrus trees, the orange and the lemon, the leaves, they have a little bit of like a wax. So when
Yeah.
it rains, it is all beautiful and
Beautiful.
shiny and it's
Shiny. Yeah.
gorgeous. So that beauty is what inspired Chopin to compose the Raindrop Prelude. Okay? So it's a magnificent, magnificent piece. Okay?
No
So
wonder he's considered a romantic, one of the best romantic composers. Francisco, please let me know if I'm crazy or not, but I just thought about what you were saying about the raindrops prelude and et cetera, that music that is so relaxing, so nice.
yes.
Wouldn't it be something to do with what today is called the white noises? And the rain is one of them?
You know, I think you're right. I think it has to do with that white noise. It's like
Yeah.
you put that as like that
Yeah, I use
raindrop.
that a lot to relax, you know?
Yeah, I mean that's yes. I mean, I'll take it. So anyway, at the end, the couple she wrote a lot also in there. She took a lot of notes for her next books in Mallorca. But at the end, they returned back to Paris, and the relationship was very tumultuous, very, very, very tumultuous, and
In what way?
almost what
In what way tumultuous?
uh, she. So he's very weak, and he demands from her that type of loyalty, that type of 24/7.
Oh, right, okay.
And she is a passionate woman. She is going to demand from him passion and
Mhm. Mhm.
brightness and uh, honesty. So uh, we would have not had, I think, George Sand without him, and we would have not have him without her.
Without her.
Right.
Mm.
So, but the relationship was non-stop fighting. Then they lasted together for about 10 years. They never had kids. Okay.
Uh-huh.
And the breakup, he didn't break up with her. She broke up with him. Okay. It was
Hmm.
something related with one of her daughters. She was loving a horrible love affair with somebody. He tried to, negotiate. And she was like, she's a woman. She can do it by herself. And that was like a total breakup. Uh, she you know that today young couples they break up by WhatsApp messages.
True.
That's exactly what she did. She sent him a
No.
letter. It was a
Oh,
letter.
really?
She broke up with a letter and never saw him again, never.
Ooh.
Although she obviously she survived. I mean 2 years after the breakup he died, and she cried all her life for him. I mean she was deeply in love with this guy who she couldn't live with. I was
Mm.
like, uh,
It's one of those love of my life, impossible to cope with.
yes. Uh, Once, I have a little quote here written. I have been trying to see who wrote it, but I don't have it. It says that Chopin gave the world music that feels like heaven, but
Mhm.
it was George Sand who kept Chopin from heaven so he could write them.
Oh, how beautiful.
'Cause without him, without her, he would have died much before. He nursed him for those 10 years. And 2 years after, he died. So we would have
Mm.
not had some of the most beautiful music ever composed without her.
Oh,
Ain't that
it's
beautiful?
all this sounds to me like a sweet and sour history.
It is
Yeah,
romanticism. It is the moment to have all of these
true.
dramatic love
Yeah,
affairs.
you're absolutely right. Yeah. Oh, wow. Well,
No,
it's fascinating story. My
yes.
goodness.
Yeah. And when Chopin died, she was not with him. Okay. With him, it was his sister. He had a very beautiful relationship with his sister.
Yeah.
And he was all surrounded by friends, and his sister was with him. Sorry. So it's a beautiful love story, and a beautiful love story with Mallorca. I mean, with the
Ah,
city of Valldemossa, which is such a beautiful, beautiful town.
yeah. You know what I like most of all the things that you said around here?
What?
That if you put it all together, it is something that whoever joins on your tour is going to experiment because you have a tour that goes to Mallorca, isn't it?
Yes, yes, yes. And we visit Valldemossa. So
Ah, you
yes,
do?
we do. I come on. It is
Nice.
besides having Chopin there, the
Yeah,
village, because Mallorca, a lot of people think it's just beach, 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 but the
yeah.
mountains. I mean, that
Beautiful.
Tramontana mountain range, it's breathtaking.
Yeah.
And Valldemossa, it is the perfect enclave up there. As I said, you have a monastery, not anymore run by monks, but you can visit the cells and the piano where he played.
Hmm.
And well, by the way, a little about the piano. He went to Valldemossa, but
Yeah.
the piano didn't arrive. So he was desperate for almost 3 weeks because he couldn't play his piano. He had to play on a blind, what they're called here in Spanish, piano ciego, a blind piano without
Yeah.
sound. So it was
Yeah.
like, I need to compose with my piano. But
No
anyway,
UPS in those days.
no UPS, no Amazon deliveries.
By the
No,
way,
but
guys, none of those companies are sponsoring this,
they don't
okay?
sponsor us. No, 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 no. We wish. So if you know somebody who knows them wants to sponsor us, so no. Anyway, so yes, you are right. On the tour, on the Spanish Mediterranean tour, we go to Mallorca.
Mhm.
One of the days we go to see Valldemossa, which is a beautiful little village up there in the middle of nowhere, but it's so beautiful. And when you go, you can go. There's a One of the things that the couple used to love is to go all the way down to the ocean. There's a town called Soller, and there's a little tram that goes up and down. So they
Ah,
used to go all the way down to Soller, and
mhm.
it's beautiful because you go through the olive trees, the oranges, and the elements. So it's a beautiful train ride, and that's what we're going to be seeing, okay, on the tour. And we're going to have lunch around there. So it's a beautiful part of the tour
Nice.
that everybody, you can find my tour on my website, travelingthesteps.es.
I was about to say that, and just to recap very briefly, your tour is 3 days in Valencia, and then you go to Menorca, which is north of Mallorca, another island.
Mhm.
And then when you go to Mallorca, one of those days you're staying there is when you go to visit this place where Chopin used to be, isn't it?
Valdemorsa. There we
Valdemos.
go. That's it.
Perfect.
Si,
Chicos,
senor.
if you want to join Francisco, now you know another highlight of his tours. So,
Yes.
sounds
I love that.
fantastic, sounds very romantic, and I know that you're going to have a great time with Francisco.
Thank you.
What else, Francisco, you want to say about this?
That's a little bit of Chopin story with Spain. So I
Okay,
hope
perfect.
our listeners are curious now to go and see some of his music. Listen to some of his music, and especially if you have to choose one to connect with Mallorca and to Spain, that is going to be the Prelude of Rain. Okay, or the Rain
Raindrops,
Prelude, the Rain
yeah.
Prelude of
Perfect.
Raindrops.
Okay.
So
All right. Well, chicos, if you're watching on YouTube, a little thumb up is fantastic. If you want to subscribe, it's for free. The same as it is for free if you want to subscribe in any audio platforms that we are on the waves out there, and you will find any chapter that we have done up to now of Spanish Loops. Francisco, has been a pleasure again to meet you this week. Very interesting topic. I loved it. Seriously.
good.
Okay, and I hope to see you next week. Okay.
Hopefully see you next week, and absolutely everybody, we are thrilled to know that you're on the other side, and we shall see you next week. Adios, amigos.
Bye.
And as usual, we want to thank all our listeners for being there every week, letting us sharing our talks. Follow us in Spanish Loops in Facebook, Spotify, Apple Podcast, or your favorite platform.
And in Instagram, you can find us as the Spanish Loops Podcast, no spaces, all together. If you want to find us the quickest way, just Google Spanish Loops Podcast and you will find us. Hasta la vista, amigos.
See you next week.